The Albanian language. Geographical location. The Albanian language, Shqip, is spoken by over 6 million people in the southwestern Balkans, primarily in the Republic of Albania and in the neighboring countries which once formed part of the Yugoslav Federation, Kosovo, Macedonia, Montenegro and Serbia. In Albania itself, the language is spoken by the entire population of 3,087,159 inhabitants, census of April 2001, including some bilingual ethnic minorities. Albanian language, Robert Lc al art al history al language al literature al photography contact, geographical location Deutsch, Shqip. The Albanian language, Shqip, is spoken by over 6 million people in the southwestern Balkans, primarily in the Republic of Albania and in the neighboring countries which once formed part of the Yugoslav Federation, Kosovo, Macedonia, Montenegro and Serbia. In Albania itself, the language is spoken by the entire population of 3,087,159 inhabitants, census of April 2001, including some bilingual ethnic minorities. In Kosovo, where there are as yet no reliable population statistics, Albanian is spoken by almost the entire population of about 2 million individuals, including some bilingual minorities, Bosniaks, Turks, Croats and Roma. Ethnic Serbs in Kosovo, now about 5% of the population, have traditionally refused to learn or speak Albanian, but attitudes may change once traditional hostilities and ethnic tensions subside. The Republic of Macedonia is estimated to have at least 500,000 Albanian speakers, equaling about 25% of the total population of the Republic, although there are no reliable statistics. The Albanian population is to be found in and around Skopje, Shkup, where it constitutes a substantial minority, Kumanovo, Maste. Kumanovo, and in particular in western Macedonia from Tetovo, Maste. Tetovo, Gostivar and Dibra, Maste. Debar, down to Struga, where it forms the majority. A minority of about 50,000 Albanian speakers is also to be found in Montenegro, mostly along the Albanian border, Ulkanulsinj, Tuz and Gushia/Guzinj. There are also at least 70,000 to 100,000 Albanian speakers scattered throughout southern Serbia, primarily in the Prisheva Valley near the borders of Macedonia and Kosovo. To the south of Albania, in Greece, there are traditional settlements of Cimmerian dialect speakers, in particular around Parga and Igomenitsa and Epirus. Despite border changes and deportations to Albania, the Albanian population here may be as high as 100,000, although they are highly assimilated. In central Greece, the Albanian language, known in Albanian as Arborisht and in Greek as Arvanitika, languishes in about 320 villages, primarily those of Boeotia, especially around Livadia, southern Euboea, Attica, Corinth and northern Andros. These speakers are the descendants of large-scale Albanian emigration to Greece during the late Middle Ages. No official statistics exist as to their numbers. This exceptionally archaic form of Albanian is dying out rapidly. In southern Italy, there is a small but well-established Albanian-speaking minority, the so-called Arboresh or Italo-Albanians. These are the descendants of refugees who fled Albania after the death of Skanderbeg in 1468. As a linguistic group, the Arboresh now consist of about 90,000 speakers, most of whom live in the mountain villages of Cosenza in Calabria and in the vicinity of Palermo in Sicily. The Arboresh speak an archaic dialect of Albanian, which differs substantially from the Albanian now spoken in the Balkans, to the extent that communication is difficult if Arboresh speakers are not familiar with standard literary Albanian. Traditional Albanian settlements can be encountered sporadically elsewhere in the Balkans. In Arbanesi, a suburb of Zadar on the Dalmatian coast of Croatia, in some villages in the Sanjak in Serbia and in the Bulgarian-Greek-Turkish border region, notably in the Bulgarian village of Mandrika. A few Albanian speakers are also to be found in the Ukraine, notably in villages in the regions of Melitopol and Odessa. Little remains of the once extensive colonies of Albanians scattered throughout the Ottoman Empire. The Albanian minority in Egypt has now dissipated, though Albanian communities still exist in large numbers in Turkey, Istanbul, Bursa and elsewhere, and to an extent in Syria, notably in Damascus. Since the late 1980s in Kosovo and since the opening of Albania in 1990 to 1991, there has been a substantial emigration of Albanian speakers from their traditional areas of settlement to other countries, in particular to Greece and Italy. There are also large numbers of Albanian emigrants to be found in Western Europe, especially Germany, Switzerland, Scandinavia and London, and in North America, New York, Boston, Detroit, Toronto. Origin and development of Albanian. Albanian is a language of the extensive Indo-European family and is thus related to a certain degree to almost all other languages of Europe. The Indo-European character of the language was first recognized in 1854 by the German linguist Franz Bopp, 1791 to 1867. At the same time, Albanian shows no particularly close historical affinity to any other language or language group within the Indo-European family, i.e. it forms a language group of its own. Despite Albania's geographical proximity to Greece, linguistic contacts with ancient Greek seem to have been sporadic. Roman trading settlements on the Illyrian coast and Albania's absorption into the Roman Empire, however, left noticeable traces in the language. Borrowings from Latin, which took place over a period of several centuries, were so massive as to threaten the very structure of the language. Cultural contacts with the Slavs, Bulgarians and Serbs, Turks and Italians have also left substantial strata of vocabulary in Albanian. Not only in its vocabulary but also in its morphology and syntax, Albanian shows many traits in common with other Balkan languages, due both to extinct substrata languages, Illyrian, Thracian, Dacian, and to centuries of parallel development. Among these traits are, a post-positive definite article, the fusion of the genitive and dative case endings, the formation of the numbers 11 to 19 by 1 on 10, the absence of a grammatical infinitive, and the formation of the future tense with the verb to want. Whether or not Albanian is a direct successor of the language of the ancient Illyrians, as is broadly assumed nowadays, is difficult to determine since very few records of the Illyrian language have been preserved. Synchronic description of Albanian. The Albanian language is divided into two basic dialect groups, Geg in the north of the country and Tosk in the south. The Shkumbin River in central Albania, flowing past Elbasan into the Adriatic, forms the approximate boundary between the two dialect regions. Here, in a zone 10 to 20 kilometers wide, intermediate dialects are also found. The Geg dialect group, characterized by the presence of nasal vowels, by the retention of the older N for Tosk reg, Vene wine for Tosk vir, Shqipnia, Albania for Tosk Shqiperia, and by several distinct morphological features, can be further classified into a northwestern, Shkodra and surrounding region, a northeastern Albania and Kosovo, a central, between the Ishim and Mat rivers and eastwards into Macedonia, including Dibra and Tetova, and a southern, Durrës, Tirana, Geg dialect. The Tosk dialect group is in general more homogeneous, though it can be subdivided into a northern from Fir to Vlora on the coast and all of inland southern Albania north of the Vjosa River, a Liberian or Lab south of the Vjosa to Saranda, and a Camerian or Cam, the southern tip of Albania and into Greece, dialect. The modern literary language, Johalet Rare, agreed upon at the orthography Congress of 20 to November 25, 1972, is a combination of the two dialect groups, though based about 80% on Tosk. It is now a widely accepted standard both in Albania and elsewhere, though there have been increasing tendencies in recent years to revive literary Gjeg.in its structure. Albanian is a synthetic language similar to most other Indo-European languages. Nouns are marked for gender, number, case and also have definite and indefinite forms. The vast majority of nouns are masculine or feminine, though there are rare examples of neuter nouns, which now function increasingly as masculine in the singular and feminine in the plural. As to number, nouns appear in the singular and plural, as in most other European languages. There are approximately 100 plural formations, including suffixes, umlauts, final consonant changes and combinations thereof. The nominal system distinguishes 5 cases: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative and ablative. The genitive and dative endings are always the same. Attributive genitives are in addition linked to the nouns that they qualify by a complicated system of connective particles, I, E, T and SE, often reflecting the ending of the preceding word, e.g., Boulevardi I Kaidatit, the city boulevard, Bukuria e Boulevardit T Kaidatit, the beauty of the city boulevard. The definite and indefinite forms of the noun are shown by the presence or absence of a post-positive definite article. The noun declension thus shows 2 sets of endings, definite and indefinite. Most adjectives follow the noun either directly or are preceded by a connective particle, e.g. Jolly Nervaz, the irritable boy, Jolly I Vogel, the little boy. The Albanian verb system has the following categories: 3 persons, 2 numbers, 10 tenses, 2 voices and 6 moods. Unusual among the moods is the admirative, which is used to express astonishment on the part of the speaker, e.g. Be sure, it's raining, Rankashire, why it's raining. Robert Elsey.